When I was 21 and living at my parents' house, which was located beside a small pond and bordered a town park, I often found myself alone. The neighborhood was upscale, with large properties, and my parents, who were well off, owned multiple homes. This meant I was frequently the only one at home, especially during my college breaks. One summer night, I was in the sunroom at the back of the house enjoying some TV. It was my favorite spot during the summer, with its cozy atmosphere and the perfect breeze from the open windows. As I sat near the window, I suddenly heard splashing sounds coming from the pond outside. Initially, I thought it was just some birds, maybe geese or ducks, having a scuffle in the water, so I didn't pay much attention. But the splashing persisted, and it didn't sound right. It was too heavy to be caused by birds. Curious, I muted the TV and pressed my ear to the window. The sound resembled a person swimming. I decided to investigate, so I stepped out onto the deck. The backyard was completely dark, but now I could hear a man humming along with the splashing. It was clear that someone was swimming in our section of the pond, which meant they were trespassing. I quickly went back inside and turned on the backyard lights. Instantly, the splashing and humming stopped. Whoever it was, they had seen me. I considered whether it could be a neighbor, though it was strange since no one ever swam in the pond. Not wanting to confront the person, I turned off the lights, locked the door, and texted my brother, who was away at college, about the incident. He didn't respond right away. I tried to brush off the unease and return my attention to the TV, but the sense of dread lingered. I glanced out the window again, but there was nothing but darkness. The light from the TV cast enough of a glow outside for me to notice that something didn't feel right. Then, I thought I heard a sound on the deck. Startled, I turned off the TV, plunging the room into darkness. As my eyes adjusted, I heard it, the distinct sound of heavy breathing coming from just outside one of the sunroom windows. Fear gripped me, and I lay flat on the couch, hoping to stay hidden. After a few tense moments, a deep voice from outside said, "I see you." My heart raced. Unsure of what to do, I blurted out, "Paul, is that you?" Paul was the name of a neighbor, and I desperately hoped it was him playing a prank. But there was no response. Instead, I heard slow, deliberate footsteps moving away. After a few minutes of lying there, trying to control my fear, I got up and checked that all the doors were locked. They were. I texted my entire family, explaining what had just happened. My dad told me to turn on the backyard lights and check if anyone was still out there, urging me to be the man of the house. Grabbing a large knife, I cautiously stepped onto the deck. To my horror, I found wet, partially dried footprints leading around the side of the deck. Following them, I saw something that sent chills down my spine. A pair of eyes and a forehead just barely visible over the edge of the deck, as if the person had been waiting for me. We locked eyes, and then he quickly turned and disappeared. I ran back inside and immediately called 911. I didn't even think to notify my parents first. When the police arrived, they asked if our family had any enemies or issues with the neighbors, but after a quick sweep of the property, they found nothing. That night, I closed every window and turned on the air conditioning, just to feel a bit more secure. The next morning, the sunlight brought some relief. To this day, we never found out who that man was, and as far as I know, he never returned.